everyone, my name is Sander and this is episode number 3 of the 2022 camping season. Today we are in Algonquin. This is Canisbay Lake. Algonquin Provincial Park is located about 3.5 hours from Toronto. It's an absolutely massive park with almost 2 million acres. We will be discussing the Highway 60 corridor. On the Highway 60 there are 9 developed campgrounds. So we have T Lake, Canisbay Lake, Mew Lake, Lake of Two Rivers, also known as LOTR, not to confuse with Lord of the Rings, Hog Lake, Whitefish Lake, which is a group camping site, Kearney Lake, Rock Lake, and Raccoon Lake. In addition, there are 15 developed hiking trails, 1 mountain bike trail, and 1 bike trail. When you're driving on Highway 60, definitely keep an eye open for wildlife. Often you have a great opportunity to see moose, bear. Keep an eye open for what's called moose jams. When suddenly there's a whole bunch of vehicles on the side of the road, there's a fair chance there's either a moose or a bear. Highway 60 is a very busy highway, so only pull over when it's safe to do so. If you do get out of your vehicle, please give the animal space. We made it to the main entrance. Right there's the main entrance. Now keep in mind that Algonquin is one of the parks where you no longer have to check in. You can just immediately go to your site. If you're there after 2 p.m, if you're here before 2 p.m, there still may be somebody on your site. You know, obviously give them the time to leave. Don't be that person that pulls into the campsite and, you know, sits there and try to push them out. No, God, please, no! If you need any park information, you can get that here. You can purchase firewood and ice, of course. Now, when it comes to moose, there's a big grassy field here behind me. I've seen moose several times. Obviously, because I have the camera with me, you know, they're not going to show up today. This is one of the spots where, if you're lucky, you're going to encounter moose. So let's go to spot number 2. So this is the second spot right behind the garbage because there's an opening right behind me. I've spotted moose there before. And on the other side, very similar here, where the power lines are. So this is the hydro campground. As you can see, the sites are nicely spaced. And as a result, you have quite a bit of privacy. And again, Canisbay is one, if not the campground with the most privacy in Algonquin Park. This is our site right here. It's 203. It's pretty spacious. Actually, it's very spacious, pretty private. Overall, a pretty good site. So as you can see, the sites here are pretty private in the park. Again, that's why we typically go to Canisbay. We don't like being, you know, on top of your neighbor, so to say. So again, this is the hydro campground. There are 3 other campgrounds as well. There's campground number 3, which is mixed hydro and non-hydro. Then you have campsite 1 and 2. Campsite 1 and 2 are non-hydro, but also generator free and bed free. The other thing is, if you're on a hydro campsite, there are 2 comfort stations, but they do not have showers. Campground number 3 has a shower, but hydro campground doesn't. So there's just bathrooms there. There's two comfort stations like this in the hydro campground section. Now Canisbay is a pretty big area, but there's little trails like this, shortcuts everywhere to make travel from A to B a lot easier. So this is the main road that connects the gatehouse, or whatever you want to call it. Gatehouse, is that still a thing? I don't know, wherever you check in and get your firewood and ice, to the beach area. But this is also where the showers are located. This is where you would have a shower. So there's showers on both ends there. In the meantime, if you would like to see more videos like this is going to be our busiest season ever. We're doing 18 different parks and counting. Please like and subscribe, because it really helps pushing this video out to more people on the YouTubes. So here's one pro tip: if you're going here with a trailer and you don't want to travel with full of water, there is one spot to fill it up. It's right here. Over there is the beach area. So there's one tap with some threads on it, which means you have to bring your own hose to fill it up. But it's the only spot where you can do it anywhere close. There's only one trailer sanitation station, so which is I think like 20 kilometers that way. So this is the only way you can get some water. So behind me is the main beach area, and over here is the parking lot. It's empty now, but normally in the summer it does get pretty busy. Also keep in mind, if you do fill up your trailer with water on top of the hill, you have to turn around here. So if you do this on a nice busy summer day, maybe a little tough to turn around in this parking lot. This is the main beach area. But stick around, I'll show you some secret beaches. Well, they're not really secret, but if you don't know about them, I guess they are secret to you. If you look right there, there is a little trail here that takes you to not one, but 2 private beaches. I happen to have my bike, but if you don't have your bike, don't worry, it's a very short trail. Just down this little trail is what I'd like to call private beach number 1. You can see it's a nice sandy area, and typically in the summer you may find some people here. But as you can see, quite a bit of room. The next spot we're gonna go to is right there, and typically there is nobody there. We made it to secret beach number 2. This is where the ministry stores their boat as well. So in the summer, you know, you may encounter some park folks, but other than that, there's nobody here. And you know, it's a perfect spot. One year we actually see the moose right here on this corner. This is definitely the spot to be when you're at Canisbay. When I turn the camera here, there's the lake. Then when you keep turning there, over there in the distance, that's where the main beach is, right there. Now, Algonquin is also perfect for biking. Right next to Canisbay's mountain bike track. Now it is for definitely experienced mountain bikers. There's also the old railroad by Canoe Lake there. And if you just want to go for a leisurely paddle with the family, this is the park to do it. It's very bike friendly. So we made it to the Menacing Trail. Normally this is a parking lot. However, I think they are doing construction to put a trailer sanitation station in. Today, we're just gonna do the timber slide loop. Or at least, well, maybe, actually, let's do the sugar bush run. And when we get to that point, we'll see how good or bad the trails are and whether we want to do the timber slide or not. So make sure you get a decent mountain bike. I actually upgraded the suspension as a result of the last trip here. So, you know, let's do it. We prepared for a lot of this. It's very muddy and there's trees everywhere. So, you know, be prepared to stop a lot. Right now at May 24 weekend, it's just too muddy. There's tree branches down everywhere and you have to stop every like a couple hundred feet. You make sure if you do this, you have good tires, you have good suspension. Definitely a technical, difficult trail. So we're back. I did not finish the trail. There was just no way. It was way too muddy, too many trees down. The nice thing is there's a little cabin here, specifically for the winter. There's a wood stove, and there's some picnic tables. But also, you know, if you just need a little break after you go on the trail, you can go in this building. When you're in Algonquin, definitely go for a paddle. It's literally paddler's paradise. There's so many nice pristine lakes. If you don't have a kayak or canoe, you know what, just rent one because it's definitely worth it. We're now at the East Gate. This is also where the totem pole is. If you're coming here for a day trip, you can get your permit right there. If you're camping, however, you can just go directly to your campsite. This is the Long Museum Trail. It is easily accessible by wheelchair, you know, or if you have kids in a stroller. This exhibition is not open yet. It opens in June. As part of the trail, there's lots of information here you can find. Plus, you can go into the buildings and see how they used to live here. It's pretty neat. So you can go in the alligator, you can pretend like you're the captain, and plus, you know what, you don't get a bad view. Dinner time. So the Long Museum Trail, very easy, short trail, just over 1 kilometer. Lots to do for smaller kids, lots to see, lots to explore. It's also wheelchair and stroller accessible, so if you have, you know, little kids, definitely recommend this trail. So at Canoe Lake, at where the garbage is right here, if you park here, there's a shortcut to the Provoking Falls. So that's what we're gonna do. So in order to make it to the falls, there's no signage, but once you pass this open spot here, you want to go right, my left of course, but yeah. Algonquin's largest lake is Opeongo Lake. In order to get there, there's a road to the lake and to the outfitters, and this is typically a very good spot to find wildlife, and today did not disappoint. So this is Opeongo Lake. It's the largest lake here in the Algonquin area. This is also a spot where many people start their interior camping. There's a store right there where you can rent your kayaks, canoes, but there's also a water taxi here as well. So if you're not that confident paddler, you can always go by water taxi to your interior site.
Put up a shanty in the space of 3 days. Took a lot of wood to heat one of those shanties.
No trip to Algonquin is complete without visiting the visitor center. Arguably one of the best visitor centers of all the provincial parks. You can learn about the animals, the history, there's nice lookouts, there's a store, And there's free Wi-Fi if that's what you're looking for. This is just outside of the visitor center. There is the lookout.
What's this?
The food chain. Nothing goes to waste. There is even a specialized subchain based on the bodies of dead plants and animals.
So this is a very short trail right next to the visitor center. There's a nice view. It is all boardwalk. So if you have a wheelchair or stroller or little kids, you know, it's a very short trail to do, but nice nevertheless. So this is another easy trail. It is stroller accessible. Most of this trail is boardwalk, so again, if you have a stroller or you just want an easy to do trail with small kids, this is definitely one trail to do. So on this trail they have lots of signs for the kids that teaches them about the area, the animals that live here. So it's definitely pretty interactive for kids as well.
And the plants build up. This forms a bog, which eventually becomes a beaver meadow.
This is Canoe Lake. There are showers there. There is a store, a restaurant, a gift shop, and you can also rent your canoes and kayaks here. Then over there you can get your permits, and that's where a lot of trips to the interior of Algonquin start, right there. There is a little gas pump as well. It's the only one in the park. I'm not sure how expensive it will be, but I'm sure it's not going to be cheap. The other closest gas stations are either in Whitney or Dwight, so either past the east gate or past the west gate in the park. So this is where you can rent your canoe, and again this is where many trips start. So there's a boat launch here, permit office is right behind here, and there's a little store and restaurant here for basic supplies. Now make sure you bring everything because it is pretty expensive. Canoe Lake is a nice little lake. You have access to other areas such as Joe Lake. You do have the portage, but they're pretty small portages, so even if you don't go camping you can always rent a canoe here and, you know, spend the day. So right over here is where you can get your permit. So you need to book a permit for interior camping, so you can do that here. And then once you get your permit, you launch your canoe or kayak here, and off you go. This is why Algonquin is a paddler's paradise. You can see all the lakes, all the triangles means campsites. You can portage lake to lake. I don't think you could ever explore all the lakes here in the park. The nice thing about Highway 60 is there are spots everywhere where you can pull over, including this spot here, which is on Smoke Lake. It's on Smoke Lake. But as you can see, you get spots like this with, you know, a very nice view. So yeah, there are lots of spots like this. This one is on Smoke Lake, but it's not the only spot in the park where you can just pull over, you know, bring a lunch, bring something to drink, and just hang out for the day. There is an art center as well. It overlooks the lake here, and over here, Sexual Art Center. Again, it's closed now, so apparently it only opens June 1st till mid-October. I've been multiple times to Algonquin, but it's heard it's quite nice. So it's another thing to check out. It is included, of course, in your permit as well. You need a permit if you want to visit this place. This is the Peck Lake Trail. It takes you all along the lake here. It's about a 2.3 kilometer hike. It's not the shortest, but definitely not the longest. There's quite a bit of climbing, so definitely not stroller or wheelchair accessible, but just a nice little hike if you want to spend like 30 to 45 minutes going around this little lake. So about Algonquin is beautiful. There's so much to do. We were here for 5 days, but there's just so many trails. There's so much to do. I think you can stay weeks here and still not see everything. Now, there are some drawbacks to Algonquin. On the weekends it gets very, very, very busy. Algonquin is one of the most popular parks. Another drawback is the fact that you're literally in the middle of nowhere. If you need gas, if you need groceries, you either have to go to Dwight or Huntsville or Whitney. Either way, it's a long drive. Another drawback, specifically if you have a trailer here, is there is no sanitation station at Canisbay. Now, I think they're building one. I think they're working on it. But right now, there's only one trailer sanitation station. It's about 30 kilometers towards the east gate, which if you come from the west, that's quite the detour. Since there's only one, the layout is not ideal either. So expect long lineups. Or alternatively, if you can always go to one of the other parks on the way home with your park pass that you have. It's valid until 10 p.m. and dump there. That's perhaps the best suggestion I have. Just going on Highway 60 gives you an excellent opportunity to see some wildlife. In total, this trip we've seen 8 moose just off the highway in Opeongo Road. If you want to go for a bike ride, if you want to go for a paddle, you know what, you can't beat Algonquin. It does have one of the best visitor centers as well, so definitely recommend going there as well. Yeah, overall Algonquin is just a great place. We typically go at least a couple times a year. Now it does get busy, really around the fall when the leaves are starting to change. It gets packed, and I mean crazy packed. So if you don't like crowds, you know, go to Algonquin, but don't go to Algonquin around Thanksgiving, around the fall time, because it's just way too busy. So if you're looking for any other suggestions on parks you may want to visit, why don't you go check out this video where we visited the 6, I don't know why that's 6, the 6 top provincial parks in Ontario.